Hi, it's Dr. Ron here, and I'd like to talk a little bit today about the process of learning and developing and making mistakes along the way. You know, no child starts walking without falling down sometimes when they try. No child learns to read without making some mistakes or learns to spell every word correctly right from the beginning, even though some will become excellent students, excellent walkers, excellent at whatever they do. No child prodigy uh, began playing the piano or violin or whatever musical instrument it is without making some mistakes along the way. And none of the great athletes in the world uh, began playing whatever sport they're doing flawlessly. I know some of you are listening and saying, duh, I know that. Why are you bringing it up? The reason I'm bringing it up is because for many people, that lesson seems to be forgotten if they try to learn something in a later stage in life, during adulthood or older adulthood. Many of my peers, for example, get enthused about learning a new language or learning a new sport or learning how to swim or learning to enjoy opera or great literature, classic movies, whatever it may be, new skills like carpentry or art. And they haven't really done it before, other than, as an average student in school. Too many of them get easily discouraged if their work is not immediately rewarding. The process should be rewarded and should feel rewarding to the person doing it, even if they're making mistakes and not doing terrific work. First of all, learning anything new is good for your brain, and it can be a fun activity, a means of socialization, and so on. But also, it's really important to recognize that the same principles that apply to a young child also apply to a young or middle age or older adult. You're not going to be great at the beginning. A skill doesn't get learned immediately. It does take effort. It does take making mistakes, and it's going to be eventually rewarded if the person is persistent in staying with it. Kind of the complicating factor if you try to learn a skill in adulthood or older adulthood is the fact that you may have some peers who have been doing this all their lives, and they may be really good artists or photographers or pianists or tennis players or whatever. Uh, so it's really important to recognize that you're competing with yourself. But even more than the competition is the the fact is that you're doing something for your body, your mind, your socialization, so on. In school, many students are put into situations where they're constantly doing things to develop their minds and their bodies, and they are in contact with peers and so on. Sometimes, as we concentrate on work, families, and then retirement for many people, they neglect some of the self care kinds of activities, such as learning new skills. Lifelong learning is, really a longevity enhancer. And learning at any level involves making some mistakes as you go through that process. So embrace it. Don't be hard on yourself. You may find that you have chosen to try to learn something that you really don't enjoy, and that's the key. If you don't enjoy something, there's lots of other things in the world, but don't let your enjoyment tied. Don't let your enjoyment be tied to whether you're really good at it or not. particularly in the early stages when you're expected to make mistakes. So here's to encouraging enhanced learning and enhanced longevity and enhanced ability to tolerate our imperfections. This is Dr. Ron Kaiser. Hope to see you at the Mental Health Gym. And if you haven't joined, I hope you will. Also, always interested in your comments about any experiences that you may have had in learning new skills and whether you stayed with it, what kinds of things you may have done to conquer any of the initial flaws in the way that you work, and hopefully the pride that you achieved in attaining some measure of competence, even if it's not world-class competence. Remember, enjoy the process, and be back next time. It's Dr. Ron Kaiser signing off.